Hey everybody, Brian Mogul, and welcome to Dinner Solo. I think this is 1056. I'm trying to catch up to the same rate that I got the first 1,000 at, which is going to be really impossible because it's every day. But I have done 3 days in a row and then 2 days last week. And the reason I'm doing it so much also is that, to me, after having all the success really I've had at this show over a period of time, Facebook said it was the longest running, continuously running local music show on Facebook, and that's the local music for any place. And I got a little plaque, you can see it. But anyway, I wanted to just have an opportunity to play in front of people. And there's not that many places to play anymore, and there's not that many opportunities as bands increase, the number of bands increase, and people from downstate come up to enjoy what should be a thriving music scene. And of course, if you're the one person left that believes that you shouldn't say anything unless it says that if you should lie, right? I don't think you should ever point out what's wrong with the music scene. You don't say, this band sucks, or these guys do this, or 13th Floor does this, or this room does this, because you're hurting all the bands that are going to play there, and with fewer rooms, you don't want to, cut yourself out of that. Even if it were, you'd be cutting yourself out, not just the people that you'd be harming. And that being said, it doesn't mean that you have to pretend that there's nothing wrong. Now, the only thing wrong is that there aren't more people at shows. I get people at shows, almost capacity sometimes, regularly even. But it takes a lot of work, more work than anybody would put in for a band. And if I weren't completely free for time, and had a stake in other people having to get gigs and stuff. Bands that were denied the opportunity to play. Things, I know bands that have been trying to get in the blues for years. And I'm trying to think, I remember a point where Adam would take just about any band at all because so few bands were trying to play. But these guys were legitimate. They, I know a couple native bands, they never had a chance to play here until I gave them a gig, and then a couple blues bands. Now, it is the blues bar, and it used to be blues all the time. I'm not saying we want to go back to what it was, but you got to have that every now and then if you want to get some of that, some of the coattails that you're riding. You know what I mean? It's like the blues has been there 35 years. There's only 3 bars with live local music continuously since their opening that can say that. The Mason Jar, and there's others. There's like 3 or 4. There might be 5 or 6. I just went by an article. But it was amazing that it was the blues in '94 when it burned down. And it's unclear how long it was the blues before that. But we know it was the blues for 1 year under that owner. And then I don't know whether it burned down or whether he got a can of gas. There was an investigation. But they rebuilt it the following in '95. And then Jen bought it like 8 or 10 years ago. And anyway, we're trying to make that a CBGB's without the urine smell. Something where it's a living monument or a museum, a tribute to all kinds of different rock styles. We take it for granted that rock and roll will be here forever. You want to believe that, but my mom and my dad, they all said that vaudeville was going to be here forever. Can't you see it's on the TV still, 40 years after? Well, I mean, good luck finding any now. But drive-ins, who would have guessed drive-ins would be gone? And there is one up here. It's got 5 screens, but it's just one. They even closed the one on near on Ockmore on the reservation. And then you got the blues has got a good PA and a decent stage. It's in its own class somewhere. Well, I would say that it's similar to Last Exit, except for you can sit down. But it's about the same capacity. But the PA is really good, and you can't find that. If you go to rooms like the Blues, it's like Chopper John's or Time Out Lounge and all that other stuff, their PA is inadequate for doing bands from for national bands for one thing, out of state bands that come to expect certain. I mean, you'll get them, but they just won't come back if they don't like the sound. And we're working on that. For us musicians, we like to hear what we're playing without having to go out front, and that's what they're working on now. I'm working on the looks of the place too, with curtains and stuff like this that make a little bit of a difference in how clean the shows go. You know what I mean? Like an open curtain, there you are. You could actually have somebody do comedy in front of the curtain while they're loading up. As long as somebody doesn't kick the kick drum during their punchline, you'll be fine. So anyway, I'm going to just play around with a whole bunch of little things here and see how it goes. I'm going to certainly do a couple from the Face Melter again. I wasn't on top of it. I had just finished the tracks firmly this week, and I had a huge number of doctor appointments, all good and all terrific, turning out terrific. Hi, Frank is right. All right, that means I better get going. I'm going to play, and God help you all. I didn't check to see what was live. Hello, I'm checking it real quick because I've had too many of these happen. Check. I have to wait for it to come. There's a delay, so I'm watching another phone for Facebook. And, oh yeah, I'm in. Okay, good. I have to wait for it to come. There's a delay, so I'm watching another phone for Facebook. And, So I haven't played that one since I think November last year, and I just got it off my drive, so I apologize for not having it down as well. Plus, I was out of balance with the sounds, but I was in a hurry to get on because I had already said 5 and it was 5:30. I was delayed for a couple of reasons. One is that I'm now inspecting all the gear before I broadcast, even to the level of each plug in each socket, just to make sure, not just electrical, but all the plugs. Because there's a great deal of greasy dirt that gets in these things. It seems to be not just my house, luckily. It's places I go, the Blues, Yucca, stuff like that. There's something in the air. I don't know if we've met the whole thing about pollution being so great that it's now particulate matter, which is diesel pollution to begin with. PM10 is called. It instantly causes cancer, and they bilge it out right above that's why they do it above their truck. I mean, I guess if you throw it on the ground, you might get it, breathing it in your car as you're driving by. But it seems like everything that goes up comes down anyway. That's why we don't shoot guns in the air on the 4th of July anymore. A lot of good ideas, you know what I mean? That you might look at it as a reduction in rights to not shoot the gun in the air at the 4th of July, but there have been several people killed, hundreds, really. Several kids killed. That was the most recent one. I did a concert in Cincinnati about 5 years ago for this woman who was looking for bands that would oppose that activity. There are some states that wanted to have the right to shoot up in the air. Well, you know, come on. In a way, this is how Darwin did understand evolution, was that if you leave people or animals at their own devices, the ones that are successful and can live with the other animals are going to thrive, and the oddballs are going to either thrive better by getting an advantage like a shark with an extra fin, or they're going to collapse, and you'll just see them in the fossil record. And I think that's what happens. If you really, really got to shoot your guns up in the air on the 4th, then you should all live in the same place and do it. That's what I think. And I know it's mean sounding and all, but I have a similar situation for drunk drivers. Drunk drivers are felons that haven't been caught. They're your friends, they're your mothers, your fathers, your daughters, your kids, your bandmates, but they are the same as a crack dealer who's out there selling drugs and just didn't get caught legally. Now, I don't have all that much respect for the law, but I do know I've had family members killed by drunk drivers. I don't know if that's common. I thought it was because it happened twice to our family in a short number of years I was paying attention, and wiped out a whole car of kids on one of them. And, it was considered a normal risk for years. I remember one for the road at the bar. That's what they used to say. There's even songs about it. But the other thing I was thinking about with drunk driving is highway happy hour, where you know those barricades that you plow into sometimes if you're not paying attention. The big concrete ones are about 3 feet tall, and they're on the side of the roads where they're doing construction usually. Well, I was going to say make one lane each way going on highways going with this kind of structure. So you're if you screw up and you won't be driving into another car, you might not survive the barricade, but you'd be killing yourself, not everybody else, just because you wanted to drink. And this isn't me being mean, getting old or anything like that. I am getting old, but I'm not getting the other parts that come with old, like wisdom, money, harems, no, not the harems, wisdom, money, and a whole bunch of stuff like this that you normally get when you're old, unless you're immature like myself. You know, I still get chocolate shakes, so I do get to do that. My health is fine, by the way. I'm going to give you guys updates on Friday. I'll know a lot more. I'm getting a second biopsy of an area that I believe to be scar tissue. The doctors that I fired believe it to be a cancerous tumor. They had no evidence for this, and they elevated me on some paperwork from 2A to 4A, and it was because they got paid more to do 4A people. Now 4A is on the edge of darkness compared to 2A. 2A is what it was I had a marble somewhere in my lung, and they never told me that chemo that destroyed my life and my guitar playing, temporarily, it seems, also shrank my tumor from 1.3 centimeters to 0.7 centimeters. That's almost a reduction in half. It's actually, they said it was 38% or something. And now I know how to read these CAT scans because they have a program that does the reading. Nobody's doing anything anymore, not even the surgeons. There's electronic robots. They guide the robot, show it where it has to go. But that was the problem I had with my last surgeon was he had no what do they call them in the Army? You have no kills. You have no surgeries that this guy had. I would have been his first. I'm not doing that. Not in Arizona. Now, Arizona, the average doctor is worse than the rest of the places. Not every place, but I consider the super civilized world to be the Northeast. Full of Democrats or not, doesn't matter. And by the way, it's not every Democrat does not steal, and every Republican is not a pervert, nor is it the reverse. It's just two different ways of looking at how you want to govern, and I don't know when it got to be just a hate-throwing thing. And I know bands that are good bands, maybe the very best bands, that are staying out of this because they don't want to be involved. They don't want to have to take a side on this. It's their music. I don't even think you should have to promote it. But, of course, if you want anybody to come, you would have to do that. So, okay, on with the show. That was the Octagon, and I'm not quite sure what I have. For this, hold on. I'm not sure what else I have, but we're gonna play something. Let's see. I think we just did that. Gotta hold on a second. Damn. Sorry, I have a thing I gotta do to this phone. I'm still using this phone for the tracks because it's convenient. Well, I guess it's not really if you have to take that time. But I never loaded them in any order, and I'm picking through them, seeing whether it's going to work out for me to just play them in the order they are. And it doesn't look like I should do that, but we're going to see if I have an alternate one loaded. See, load project. FaceBuster Plus. That's the thing today. All right, let's do Lights Out. I'm not using the wah-wah this time because I want to hear what I'm actually playing. Schenker uses one, so I expect I would probably use it at the show. And then I got to tell you the show, too, and some changes we've had. Now, these next tracks that I'm doing from the Face Melter are just bass and drums. There's no rhythm guitar, no keyboards, none of the flowery stuff I had on my live performances. That's because I want to practice them the way they'll be at the show. I have a bass player and a drummer, and they're the best in the world at what they do. I have Jim Warren from Magnum Max. And by the way, Magnum Max pulled out of the show, not by choice, but the drummer broke his foot. But the singer, Mark Keller, and the bass player are coming to do my set with me at the Face Melter Jam. So I appreciate them very, very much for that. And you know that I love it when people go, like when a band cancels and none of the band members come to the show that they've been promoted on and all this stuff. They ain't all sick. They ain't all in a hospital. Bands should make every effort to replace themselves, I think. Just because it's the most sincere commitment you can make is to say that you're going to play your music then. People will come to see you, right? If you're any good, a lot of people come to see you, and if you promote. But if you do that and then just say nothing, and besides that, an announcement doesn't really help the people. Most promoters are bloodsuckers, I understand. I'm not that way, though. I promote shows because I'm in a band and I realize there's nobody's going to do it if I don't. And I promote the other bands because I want to have the lineup be the way I want. That's what my problem is. It's not that I suck or that I'm hard to get along with these other bars, but they don't like the idea of the band picking all their friends to play. And it's not my friends, right? I mean, if I ask you to play, it's because you're good. almost always. I give bands a start if they're not good necessarily, and they'll start at 12:38 a.m. Or 5 o'clock, and it's not always that way. And it certainly isn't that way at the Face Melter, where there's 6 headlining bands, and you have to draw straws to get a spot. But that's what it is. So, wow, I must be way behind on this news feed because I see I'm wearing glasses and I'm not. How weird. Okay, so here we go. This is Lights Out. I think it might go in the Rock Bottom. If I do, it's halfway decent. Don't judge me on this. You can judge me Saturday the 23rd. There's an ending to that that I'm not getting into right now. That's Rock Bottom. It's going to be sung by Ray Coon and played by the bass player from Magna Max, Jim, plus Phil Hernandez, my original drummer. This is Ray Coon and my song called Aquaman. No, that track's all piece of crap. I didn't fix that one like I did the other two, but that was okay. I'm going to do a couple other shorter ones that well, I don't know how important or not important they are. Let's see, well, I don't even know what they are sometimes. I'm going to do the Decameron one more time, but before I do that, which will be the last song, I think, or possibly Swan Lake, I don't know which one. I want to get one of these oddball ones. I forgot which one it was, so if you bear with me on my glasses one more time. And Emily's coming up to do this show with us, and she was going to sing the one song. She was going to come off here 300 or 300 miles for 3 hours, whatever it is, 200 miles in 3 hours, to get up here from Sierra Vista. And she was going to do it for one song. I mean, that's the kind of commitment she has, and she'll get all of my heart and my love forever because she's like that all the time. And if you knew her, she'd be like that to you. She has certain restrictions in her life. She doesn't like people talking shamefully about people. She doesn't like racism. She doesn't like, well, she might not get along with about 49% of y'all. So I warned you. But she recognizes what's going on here is that it is hate. You know, it's not a political thing. It's a douchebag thing, really. But I don't know how to say that with anything less than disdain. It's like country music, you know. Well, this guy asked me, he says, Brian, you like country music? I said, no, actually I don't. Not to denigrate those that do. And then I said, and for those that do, denigrate means to put down. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, I swear to God I heard a smart-ass remark for that. All right, so I'm going to play Carpathia again because it's the werewolf song. And it's next. I'm going to do that, and I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Well, that's okay. My playing is okay today. It's my head's not in it. If for some reason, well, I've had distressing news today, and then a little bit more of that. Nothing that I can't fix. It's just that it's weighed on my mind immediately before the show. So I apologize for that. This is just kind of a way for me to run through stuff anyway. Let me see what else is here. We did almost all of these. You don't need to hear that. Or maybe you do. See, I'm going to sign out with... No, not that one. I don't know. I don't trust the camera on. It's a tough song to play. Should I do that or should I do... Swan Lake is really good, and Emily's going to be up here. I might do Swan Lake with her because it is probably my best arranged song, and it's the only song I have on iTunes. Well, actually, I have two. I have Swan Lake on iTunes, and I have Washington, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Both of them are excellent recordings and well performed, I think, without, well, by blowing my own horn. But I'm very picky about what goes out in social media. In fact, I've only gotten two on there. I'm ready to put Emily. Emily comes up this time. I'm going to nail her down to getting a recording of a couple others because the stuff we do by Evanescence is copyrightable as ours in some cases. In almost all the cases, we've added things to it that weren't there, and I think that people, I don't care about the ownership of it as much as I think people would enjoy an opportunity to listen to them with some serious guitar work. And the reason is because their guitar player doesn't do much. I don't know if it's because Amy's voice is so beautiful that he doesn't have to, or who knows why. Maybe it's just his taste. You know, there's some people that tell me that they're frontmen for bands that play. They're guitar players in bands, and that they don't like to show off. And then I'm like, what kind of music are you doing, right? Is it music there? I didn't know that there was a rule that we shouldn't play as much and as good as we want to, and I'm not going to, until I see that rule, I'm going to just do what I'm doing. Swan Lake, 1892 or 98, 92, I think, by Peter Tchaikovsky, Piotr Tchaikovsky. And it's what you're going to hear here is almost entirely me on the keyboards and a little sample in the very beginning only of the Czechoslovakian Philharmonic Orchestra. And I could have got it from any orchestra, including an American one. But the Czechoslovakian one doesn't hold a copyright. They, like me, believe that music belongs to everybody. Even if I write it. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to pay me to play it. You're going to have to pay me to make it up, but it belongs to everybody. You can't own art or music. I mean, you can own the piece of art that inspired the posters and the sides of buildings or stuff, but the art itself, that's a very spiritual thing on everybody's part. All right, so here we go. This will be the last one. Wait for it. It's been a while since I've been playing stuff that's fast and hard. I'm going to plan on doing quite a bit more of it. I've been practicing, well, about 6 hours a day after I do the promotional materials and my medical stuff I have to do, like swimming pool and exercise and drugs, pharmaceutical, of course. Then, of course, you have all the partying, too. I wanted to just have a chance to do this so it's when I do come back out and play. And you guys know that the Face Melter Jam will be my first performance, my first full performance since December, because I got I played a December 27th show like a champ. That was for the in-laws, and some people say that they poisoned me, but either way, on the next show, the January 24th, I got through 3 songs and had to bail, and never happened to me in my life actually. But then again, you only get major diseases like that once in a while. I'm taking it pretty well. I took that pretty well because not playing is an area of great sensitivity to me because my mental health comes from doing it. The same way it does with veterans and PTSD. I have my own PTSD. We all do, right? We all have something that scared the living fuck out of us. We know it shouldn't have been there. We know it's wrong. We got taken advantage of. Whatever it is, that it depresses you and makes you angry and everything else. And when I don't play, I find out that I'm like that a lot more. If I play, if I play daily, I find out that I end up being a very serene person. This came about 6 or 7 years ago when I started helping Instruments for Success do their shows and get veterans there that needed support. It's a place run by a friend of mine, Stephen Bradford, who was my cajon player, drummer, in a band with Tommy Two Guns, if you guys remember that name, going back. He had just started, I think, then. And he was teaching, he was a professor at UCLA. Did you guys know that? Or not UCLA, but ASU. And the program he built from scratch, and not just himself, but with a lot of help. And I know the people who helped him. That program they built immediately caught fire. It got the attention of ASU, who classified it as a therapy instruction. This is a recognized way of dealing with one of the greatest causes of suicide among our military is because of this PTSD among anywhere. It also affects cops, and it does affect us. It affects anybody who's going to be depressed because of a horrible event they witnessed or experienced or participated in on either side. I mean, you can feel that way for doing a bad thing, or you can have a bad thing done to you. I take that very, very seriously, and I didn't realize that here these guys are. They're so shut in that they order their food delivered back before COVID, right? So they just don't want to go out and see people because it's always bad. And there was one guy at that group who came over and started talking to me, and he showed me his Led Zeppelin riff. It's that solo between Misty Mountain Hop and Heartbreaker on the third album, and and he played it like a pro. I was like, damn, dude, you're really good. You don't have to be in this beginner class, but I didn't understand that. It was just all the same class at that time. They do have beginner instructions and later instructions, but anyway, this has got the attention of Fender, and Fender donated all kinds of guitars for the purposes of just giving them away to vets, because I had a veteran come across my camera, and I'm looking for the video for next year, for this coming year, I mean, for November, that this guy is a captain, I think. He ran a VFW post, and he was stepping down, and he summed it up by saying, when I have the guitar in my hands, I don't have PTSD. Now, you take that however you want, but these guys get relief from it, and so do I. And that 3-4 months that I went where I couldn't play anything, I couldn't lift the guitar. And it wasn't all just because of the neuropathy, which I still have a small amount of, and doesn't seem to be leaving. So I mean, I may have to deal with this for life, but I know better than to go back and get more of those treatments. And now that I've read about them, I see that the variations from one doctor to another, all of them are located in strip malls, and they're not the same kind of doctors. My doctor didn't know anything about my case. He just saw that what I had and prescribed something. He had no idea it was going to knock me on my ass, and it caused blisters on the inside of my mouth, made it impossible for me to drink water. Water tasted like bitter vinegar and burned, and food was just impossible to eat. So in that first month, I lost about 30 pounds. And on ensuing months, I lost about another 15. I've lost almost 50 total. And I was 272. And actually, I lost more than that. I'm 206 now. And that's fine. Now, I didn't lose this because I had cancer. I lost this because the cure was too strong. And they start with the strong cure. In fact, it's going to get worse. But I'm not taking that anymore. I'm at the Mayo Clinic. They have a different way of doing business. They have more current methods of treating it other than poisoning your body so that everything dies along with the cancer. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but chemo's got about a 17% death rate associated with it. And that's, while you're going in there, you're sick, right? So you think. But without it, more people would live. Now, with the ones who live, I don't know. But there's a procedure, and I'll give you all the details, because I'm going to be face-to-face with it on Thursday. And it's got me a little nervous, because it's looking inside my lymph nodes to find out whether the cancer is spread. Now, if the cancer is in your lymph nodes, it's a whole other ballgame. And if it's not, and I believe it's not, because the reason they believe it might be is the crazy friggin' no experience doctor that put me at 4A. In fact, I think it became legal where they had to go and biopsy that other thing to see before they were allowed to fuck with the one on the right lung. We'll see. Lymph nodes. That's where, if you have stuff spreading in your body, not that that's impossible to cure, but what that would mean if it had spread, I would either have to get my cure out of the country in Mexico, Canada, or Europe, and deal with that, or I would have to get chemo again, the American way. And if that happened, sometimes this neuropathy doesn't reverse itself. You have it for life, and that would mean I could never play again. So I'd have to be prepared to want to live a life where I couldn't play again. Now, when that occurred to me 3-4 months ago, I started scoring movies like a nut, using orchestra instruments instead of guitar, because I couldn't play the guitar. So if you went and saw King Kong, which a few of you did, and you were blown away by it, right? I could do a lot more than that. That was just my first attempt at doing orchestral instruments. But I would sample the instrument or play it myself and put it on there. I made a whole, it was only 17 minutes, but I made a whole track that went with the movie, even to where he was throwing people. I was hitting the timpani drums, watching them as they hit the wall. And, so it's a movie. I can laugh about stuff like that. Thank you for watching. I do not want your pity or your prayers or your drum circles. I want you to do that for people that can't help themselves and that you need to understand better, people that you don't get along with, or people that make you angry. Spend your efforts at that for now. When I'm real sick, if I get real sick, then I'll let you know, and then I can start with the all-male drum circles or whatever the hell you got. Because I'm a heretic. I don't believe in a lot of stuff. I do, and it's not that I don't believe in God or Jesus or any of that. It's I don't believe in the program. I didn't get a shirt that said it was a program. I didn't sign anything that I know of. I'm good to people. I wasn't always, but who was? And I made up for where I wasn't or tried. And I don't seek fame or recognition without at least bringing some people that I think are more deserving or equally deserving or possibly deserving of it even. That's why I like these shows. I like doing things my way. Screw the world. I'd rather die in the blues playing what I want, helping people get up and out of the blues than to play the Marquee Theater with 45 people in it. And that's what would happen. I've seen great bands go there at their 7 o'clock spot. And you know what 45 people looks like in the Marquee? It doesn't look like, I mean, you can be one of these bands that brags forever that they're already famous and only play there, unless you happen to catch them drunk on an open mic night. But there are people like that think they can make you can't. And the Marquee will look for me when it's time for me to play, or it won't. Usually it's been my experience that just about when I'm ready to go play a room that I thought I wasn't cut out for, that they called me, or something like that. So there's a lot of hope. Hope sucks, though. Bear in mind that you don't want to leave with just hope, because that means you've exhausted all the other possibilities. But if you do have hope, because sometimes things don't happen. Sometimes the cop doesn't find the acid in your wallet or anything like that might have happened to me or a friend when we were kids and ruined our life forever. That would have been under the Rockefeller statute. I would have done 40 years in jail, and nobody but me was eating that paper. But they didn't know what it was. They asked me what it was. I said, it's stickers. I said it was stickers because it had Donald Duck on it. And it was a page of Donald Duck stickers. I got a long way with those pages. Anyway, if you haven't tripped, you're losing a good point of the whole universe. If you've tripped more than 2 or 3 times, you're an idiot. So there's something reading there. Ozzy said that. You know what else he said? Enjoy life. I didn't say enjoy life. I said enjoy life. And we didn't know. All right. See you guys. Thank you. I'll be back probably tomorrow.